Armageddon Steel Legions and Forced Dispositions in the Third Armageddon War. Codex Armageddon, written by Andy Chambers, Jervis Johnson, and Gavin Thorpe. Pages 28 to 32. Narrated by me, R.J. Bailey. Narrator's note. Typically, Oldex presents information from the in-universe writing of its sources. However, in the case of the Armageddon Steel Legions, some information which I deem to be vital to the character of the army is also mixed in with gaming information, hence the deviation from the usual format. However, if you enjoy gaming information being narrated to you, and I guess someone out there will, then let me know, and I can do that as well. Give me a tweet at rjbailey, or email robertjbailey@gmail.com, or head over to the Oldex Facebook page. Thank you. Armageddon Steel Legions. Armageddon has a massive population, and is capable of raising a large number of Imperial Guard regiments in times of war. At the height of the Second Armageddon campaign, dozens of regiments were fielded from troops raised from Armageddon alone. Armageddon Imperial Guard regiments are made up of a mix of infantry, artillery, armor, and mechanized infantry companies. However, the highly industrialized nature of Armageddon means that a far higher proportion than normal are mechanized infantry, and it's not uncommon for over 90% of a regiment to be made up of such units. It is for this reason that regiments raised on Armageddon are known as Armageddon Steel Legions. Armageddon Imperial Guard Companies. As noted above, infantry, artillery, armor, and most famously, Steel Legion mechanized infantry companies are raised on Armageddon. In addition, some regiments have had years of experience fighting against the orcs that inhabit the jungles of Armageddon Prime, and therefore qualify as Death World veterans. This plethora of different types of unit means that the following types of companies from Armageddon can be used in games of Warhammer 40,000. In addition, each type of army can be either a tithed army or a planetary defense army, which affects the types of units it may use, as described below. Unit: Infantry Companies. List used: Codex Imperial Guard. Death World veterans units may be included using the rules in Codex Catachans. Unit: Steel Legion Mechanized Infantry. List used: Codex Armageddon Steel Legion Mechanized Infantry List. Unit: Armageddon Prime Jungle Veterans. List used: Codex Catachans Death World Veterans List. Unit: Armageddon Sentinels. List used: Sentinels in any Armageddon force can be armed with either a heavy flamer, plus 5 points, multi-laser, plus 10 points, or las cannon, plus 20 points. Tithed and Planetary Defense Regiments. Armageddon is often called upon to raise regiments for major battles and campaigns all over the Armageddon sector. Regiments that fight off-world like this are called tithed regiments, after the process used by the Departamento Munitorum to call them up. Tithed regiments are supplemented by troops raised on other planets, which are not found on Armageddon, such as Ratlings or Ogrins, as well as certain types of vehicle that are not manufactured on the planet. Tithed regiments are well represented by the existing army lists, and so the army lists can be used straight, without any modifications other than those noted opposite for the Steel Legion mechanized infantry companies. As an aside, it's worth noting that a number of tithed regiments stationed on planets close to Armageddon were recalled to the planet during both the Second and Third Armageddon campaigns. So you can use tithed armies for games set on Armageddon itself if you wish. Planetary defense regiments are those that are raised to fight exclusively on Armageddon. They are rather different to tithed regiments in that there are certain units that they may not use, while there are a number of unique auxiliary units that they can use, and tithed regiments cannot. The rules on the following pages detail which units cannot be used in a planetary defense regiment, and there is also a new army list entry for local hive gang militia units that can be used only in Armageddon planetary defense forces. Steel Legion Mechanized Infantry. The most common type of company found in regiments raised on Armageddon are mechanized infantry companies. These are similar in most respects to normal infantry companies, except that all the units that would normally have to move around on foot are provided with Chimera armored transport vehicles. Mechanized infantry companies are normally quite rare in the Imperial Guard, as it is difficult for most planetary governors to obtain and maintain the vehicles needed for such a formation. However, Armageddon is one of the chief manufacturing planets for chimeras, producing several hundred every day for use across the Imperium. Because of this, infantry units raised on Armageddon are routinely equipped with chimeras, unless the tactical or strategic situation makes their use impractical. Planetary Defense Force. As well as raising tithe regiments when called to do so by the Administratum, Armageddon fields a large number of regiments that never leave the planet. These regiments are known as the Armageddon Planetary Defense Force. All planets with a sizable population in the Imperium have their own planetary defense force. The only real difference between planetary defense regiments and normal Imperial Guard regiments is that planetary forces may not have access to certain types of specialized troops or equipment, so make up for this by fielding local auxiliary troops. Armageddon is no exception, and so the following special rules apply if you wish to build an Imperial Guard army that is part of the Armageddon Planetary Defense Force. The following units may not be used by an Armageddon Planetary Defense Force: Ogrins, Rattling Snipers, Rough Riders, Deathworld Sentinel Squadrons, Leman Russ Vanquisher, Leman Russ Exterminator. In addition, Sentinels, Basilisks, and Griffins must be given the Armored Crew Compartment vehicle upgrade, as the crew and gun mechanisms need to be protected from the corrosive effects of the ash waste sands of the planet. Hive Gang militia units may be included in an Armageddon Planetary Defense Force, and only in an Armageddon Planetary Defense Force. Troops. Hive Gang militia. Vicious hive gangs inhabit the lower depths of Armageddon's hive cities. These gangs are pressed into service if their hive ever comes under attack, and fight alongside units from the regular Imperial Guard regiments. Hermann von Straub. It appears that, having been deposed from power in the Second Armageddon War by Commander Dante of the Blood Angels, von Straub threw in his lot with Ghazghul. Undoubtedly, the Orc warlord learnt much about the Imperium's defences from his advisor, in exchange for the promise of returning von Straub to power. Of course, it is unlikely that Ghazghul has any respect for the loathsome von Straub, and will kill him as soon as he has stopped being useful. It is believed that von Straub is still hiding out in Acheron Hive with his Orc minders. General Kurov. Vladimir Nikita Kurov served as a young lieutenant in the First and Second Battles of Tartarus Hive, excelling in several actions and reaching the rank of colonel by the end of the campaign. Shortly afterwards, Kurov took part in the Bacchus Crusade, where he was appointed to Lord Commander Bok's staff. Over the decades, he has served in numerous other campaigns, and has proved to be one of the most reliable and able Imperial Guard commanders of recent times. He is currently in direct command of all Imperial Guard forces on Armageddon. Force dispositions in the Third Armageddon War. Archive search. Downloading. Found. Enemy dispositions on planet Armageddon. 5/72199.M41. Locations: Armageddon Prime, Armageddon Secundus, the Fire Wastes, the Deadlands. Found. Enemy orbital support. Found. Select for visual reference enemy landing sites / protected invasion patterns. The Armageddon Land War. File reference FBF 21/000/22/6B. Select for info reference Imperium presence in Armageddon sector. Armageddon fleet defenses. File reference SKS 22/010 99-184-8A. Compiler's note. Orc warbands number between 600 and 3,000 warriors, plus associated war machines and artillery, typically equal to 20 to 25% of warband strength, rising to 50 to 100% for speed cult and artillery warbands. Gargants, where listed, indicate Titan-weight Orc war engines of all classes. Highlighted forces represent selected major Orc drop sites. Confer file reference FBF21/000/22/6B. Armageddon Prime, Forces of the Great Despot of Dregruk. Commanding Despot Gazgrim's Warhorde. Estimated 200 warbands, 18 gargants. Warlord Thogfang's Gargant Big Mob. Estimated 3 warbands, 7 gargants. Warlord Rutgar's Gargant Big Mob. Estimated 5 warbands, 6 gargants. Warlord Badfang's Battle Forts. Commanding estimated 3 warbands, 16 battle fortresses. Blackslayer's Tribe. Estimated 30 warbands, 4 gargants. Firebelly's Tribe. Estimated 18 warbands, 3 gargants. Commanding Varga's Drop Legion. Estimated 24 warbands. Razor Speed Freaks. Estimated 21 Speed Cult warbands. Commanding Warlord Gorshag's Big Guns. Estimated 7 artillery warbands. Armageddon Secundus. Forces of the Orc Warlord Gazgul Mag Uruk Thraka. Great Overlord Gazgul's Warhorde. Estimated 400 warbands, 18 gargants. Warlord Morfang's Gargant Big Mob. Estimated 6 warbands, 7 gargants. Commanding Warlord Scarfang's Gargant Big Mob. Estimated 3 warbands, 6 gargants. Warlord Berseruk's Gargant Big Mob. Estimated 4 warbands, 9 gargants. Warlord Crocsnick's Death Tracks. Estimated 4 warbands, 32 battle fortresses. Commanding Black Skull Tribe. Estimated 30 warbands, 3 gargants. Crooked Moon Tribe. Estimated 21 warbands, 5 gargants. Red Fin Tribe. Estimated 30 warbands, 4 gargants. Commanding Red Wheels Speed Freaks. Estimated 18 Speed Cult warbands. Burning Death Speed Freaks. Estimated 25 Speed Cult warbands. Commanding Warlord Thugsnick's Big Guns. Estimated 6 artillery warbands. Warlord Morbad's Big Guns. Estimated 12 artillery warbands. The Fire Wastes. Forces of Urgok the Unstoppable. Great Slayer Grimskull's Warhorde. Estimated 60 warbands, 8 gargants. Commanding Warlord Blagrot's Gargant Big Mob. Estimated 4 warbands, 3 gargants. Warlord Scragg's Gargant Big Mob. Estimated 2 warbands, 3 gargants. Vulture's Tribe. Estimated 16 warbands, 3 gargants. Commanding Stomper's Tribe. Estimated 11 warbands, 1 gargant. Slasher's Speed Freaks. Estimated 12 Speed Cult warbands. Warlord Rookglum's Big Guns. Estimated 11 artillery warbands. The Deadlands. Forces of the Overfiend of Octarius. Great Fiend Gorsnick Magash's Warhorde. Estimated 250 warbands, 160 battle fortresses. Warlord Bogsnick's Blitz Brigade. Estimated 8 warbands, 26 battle fortresses. Warlord Skarsnick's Blitz Brigade. Estimated 12 warbands, 41 battle fortresses. Commanding Black Cloud Speed Freaks. Estimated 20 Speed Cult warbands. White Lightning Speed Freaks. Estimated 31 speed cult warbands. Orbital support, 12 to 16 Orc space hulks, 2,000 to 3,500 fighter-bomber squadrons, 2,100 plus Orc attack craft, 80 to 100 Orc rocks, 250 to 400 Orc cruisers. File reference SKS-22-000-99-184-8A. Reference Imperium Presence. Armageddon Sector 5/72199.M41. He who lives for nothing is nothing. He who dies for the Emperor is a hero. Legiones Astartes. Angels of Fire, 7 companies. Angels of Redemption, 4 companies. Angels of Vigilance, 6 companies. Angels Porphyr, 8 companies. Black Dragons, 9 companies. Black Templars, 3 Crusades. Blood Angels, 1 company. Celebrants, 10 companies. Celestial Lions, 10 companies. Exorcists, 12 companies. Flesh Terrors, 5 companies. Iron Champions, 7 companies. Marines Malevolent, 2 companies. Mortifactors, 10 companies. Omega Marines, 9 companies. Raptors, 5 companies. Relictors, 10 companies. Salamanders, 6 companies. Silver Skulls, 7 companies. Sons of Guilliman, 6 companies. Space Wolves, 5 great companies. Storm Giants, 5 companies. Storm Lords, 2 brotherhoods. White Scars, 3 brotherhoods. Imperial Guard, Armageddon Ash Waste Militia, 5 regiments. Armageddon Command Guard, 5 companies. Armageddon Hive Militia, 120 regiments. Armageddon Orc Hunters, 5 regiments. Armageddon Steel Legion, 25 regiments. Arphista Penal Legion, 1 legion. Asgardian Rangers, 2 regiments. Cadian Shock Troops, 15 regiments. Catachan Jungle Fighters, 3 regiments. Death Corps of Krieg, 5 regiments. Elysian Drop Troops, 14 squadrons. Japal Indentured Squadrons, 17 battalions. Krork Ogrin Auxilia, 2 regiments. Minervan Tank Legions, 3 legions. Monglor Ogrin Auxilia, 1 regiment. Mordian Iron Guard, 6 regiments. Nocten Strike Forces, 6 regiments. Okanon Phalanx Troops, 11 regiments. Pyran Dragoons, 10 regiments. Savlar Chem Dogs, 6 regiments. Savlar Chem Riders, 2 regiments. Semtexian Bombardiers, 9 batteries. Storm Troopers, 18 companies. Zuvan Skirmishers, 4 brigades. Adepta Sororitas, Order of Our Martyred Lady, equivalent 3 companies. Order of the Argent Shroud, equivalent 7 companies. Adeptus Mechanicus, Centurio Ordinatus, 4 Ordinatus. Legio Crucius, Demi-Legio. Legio Ignatum, Legio. Legio Invigilata, Legio. Legio Magna, Quattro Legio. Legio Metallica, Demi-Legio. Legio Tempestor, Legio. Legio Victorum, Legio. Scitari, 14 regiments. Departamento Munitorum, Engineer Corps, 2. Pioneer Corps, 1. Adeptus Arbites, Precincts, 20. Punitive Battalions, 12. Officio Assassinorum, Agents, Classified Information. Officio Sabitorum, Agents, 34. Ordo Xenos, Kill Teams 2. Templars Psychologis. Disruption Squads 15. Imperial Fleet. Imperial Deep Space Support. His Will. Apocalypse-class battleship. Triumph. Apocalypse-class battleship. In Nomine Veritas. Emperor-class battleship. Green Lake. Oberon-class battleship. First Line Cruiser Squadrons 6. Second Line Cruiser Squadrons 9. Light Cruiser Squadrons 12. Escort Squadrons 36. Bomber Strike Wings 43. Interceptor Strike Wings 67. Space Marine Battle Barges 14. Space Marine Strike Cruisers 103. Thunderhawk Gunships. Numbers unknown. You have been listening to Armageddon Steel Legions and Force Dispositions in the Third Armageddon War, pages 28 to 32. Codex Armageddon was written by Andy Chambers, Jervis Johnson, and Gavin Thorpe, and narrated by R.J. Bailey. Thank you to Andy Chambers, Jervis Johnson, and Gav Thorpe for writing the fiction I grew up with. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a review where you found it, or like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, depending how you're listening. This production, like all of Oldex, is entirely unofficial and uncommercial, from an out-of-print publication, is a derivative work with all copyrights owned by Games Workshop, and is a celebration of the hobby and lore I grew up with. If you have suggestions for other old Codex fiction for me to narrate on this podcast, you can comment, contact me on Twitter @RJBailey, or email robertjbailey@gmail.com. Links are in the show description.